The start of the eternal answers of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd RUTC has been proclaimed as the New Year's theme for 2025. The 2025 Top Remnant Youth Competition has begun. The Remnant University 5,000 Tribes Pastors Evangelism Forum took place on the 12th. The 7th Southeast Asia Evangelism Conference and the 22nd Philippines Remnant Conference took place on the 17th for 2 days in Clark, Philippines. Hello and welcome to the RUTC News. Beginning a new year in 2025, the start of the eternal answers of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd RUTC has been proclaimed. To enjoy the blessing of the ages of the 237 and 5,000 tribes, the 3 courtyards, the 3-day weekend, and the holy meditation. The start of the eternal answers of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd RUTC, the 2025 New Year's theme has been proclaimed. To take a hold of the specific word and direction throughout the new year with the new theme is a New Year's prayer service will take place for 2 days from the 31st and January 1st. Lecture 1 will be on the 31st at 7 p.m., Lecture 2 at 8:30 p.m., and Lecture 3 at 11 a.m. on the 1st. Meanwhile, the 2025 New Year's theme and Reverend Yu's handwritten New Year's card has been translated into 10 languages, including Japanese and Spanish, and is available at WEEA. Reverend Yu emphasized through the 2025 New Year's card the reason why Peter, who made the confession, was told to tell no one at that time, and relayed the 7 things that have yet to even begin, and that we must actually start the age with a 300% power to begin the 2025 new year. Anyone can download the image or PDF for use in church bulletins and calendars. Under the theme, The Start of the Eternal Answers of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd RUTC, from Caesarea Philippi to Rome, following the stream of the 66 books of the Bible, the covenant of God which has led the Darapang evangelism movement, the 2025 district message with this covenant has been published. They are available for purchase December 31st, 2024. The 2025 Top Remnant Youth Competition has begun. The 2025 Top Remnant Youth Competition, with the God-given talents through the 300% strength, leaves behind a summit masterpiece, is open to any remnant in their teens, in all forms and genres, such as song, dance, artwork, writing, webtoons, videos, and more. After filling out the application form at weea.kr, you can upload your masterpiece file or submit by email or through post. Applications can be submitted by January 3rd of next year. The main competition will take place during the World Youth Retreat, and the results and award ceremony will take place later. Meanwhile, the Children's Praise Album Remnant Album Praise Competition will take place January of next year, as well as the Top Remnant Kids auditions to choose the Children's Body Worship Praise Team will take place in February. Overseas participants can submit videos. Detailed info will be provided later. The RU 5,000 Tribes Pastors Evangelism Forum took place on the 12th at the Cheonan Oneness Church. The Evangelism Forum took place with 1,007 evangelists in attendance, including 981 pastors to save the 5,000 tribes and 26 church officers of important headquarter departments. Head pastors, missionaries, assistant pastors, pastors' wives, and all pastors, including Europe, Japan, and the United States, Kazakhstan, and other overseas missionaries took part and received the message. Meanwhile, other 5,000 Tribes ministry forums took place for Southeast Asia, Central South America, Africa, and by continent. At the Evangelism Forum, Reverend Yu gave 3 messages titled, Goal of the 7 Partisans, What to Change, What to Find, 237, 5,000, 7 Journeys, What to Raise, Goal of the 7 Guideposts. With this begins the monthly district board meetings for actual mission strategy forums, which will continue. The 7th Southeast Asia Evangelism Conference and the 22nd Philippines Remnant Conference took place on the 17th for 2 days in Clark, Philippines. Before the main conference on the 16th, about 80 Remnant leaders took part in a leaders' retreat at One Love Mission Church. The Christ-given conference had in attendance 550 remnants and evangelism disciples who will save the 5,000 tribes. The majority was made up of 380 native disciples from 5 countries, including the Philippines and Singapore. At the Philippines Remnant Conference, with the theme Opportunity to Save the 5,000 Tribes, Reverend Yu relayed with the titles Lecture 1, Accurate Covenant, God, Lecture 2, Posture, and at the Southeast Asia Evangelism Conference, with the theme 237 Opportunity, gave 2 lectures titled Lecture 1, First Start, Lecture 2, Continuation. Especially this conference had an entirely Philippines native disciples praise team who led the praise. The Philippines Christian Armed Forces Top General, the Philippines Methodist Prime Bishop, and the majority of Philippines native military disciples participated in the conference. After the first lecture, 10 Philippines Christian Armed Forces Association military ministers were ordained. Before the conference, there were other meetings including native disciples of Southeast Asia, missionaries, church officer business people, and remnants, where the specific mission regarding the actual preparation of the 300% were relayed. Also, there were meetings with Filipino ministers doing prenatal, infant, preschool, kindergarten, and children's ministry. And amongst the majority of native ministers, forums took place and the stream was communicated. The first RGS RLS United Retreat took place on the 13th at the Dakpyeong RUTC. With the theme Remaining Ones to Save the Past, Present, and Future, there were 450 participants, including RGS RLS students, parents, and alumni. Reverend Yu relayed to the gathered RGS RLS family that the gospel elite who've seen the age must set up the 7 partisans, 7 journeys, and 7 guideposts with the 3 concentrations, 3 settings, and 3 answers, and see the spiritual facts of the 12 partisans. Also, all RGS RLS family members are spiritual summit pilgrims, must be addicts of the gospel and prayer who walk the pilgrim's journey in the spiritual prayer system, and being conquerors who will block disasters must become the 24-25 eternal prayer conquerors. Meanwhile, after the message, alumni, current students, and parents gathered separately and had a time of communicating the covenant and sharing forum on the message they received. The first RGS RLS United Retreat was the greatest time of gathering prayer and having the covenant being proclaimed for preparing full-scale RUTC movement, which will arise amongst 237 nations and 5,000 tribes. Last week's Saturday Core took place centered on the Yeongnam region, Busan chapter, at the Emmanuel Church. Before the service, Reverend Yu relayed a special message for the Elementary Youth Evangelism Institute lecturers and said that one opportunity is an eternal opportunity, and relayed the specific message concerning the 300% preparation for myself, the field, and specialization. On this day, Reverend Yu relayed the messages titled The Business Person's Prayer for 2025. The reason you cannot find 300%. First, receive the blessings to save 5,000 tribes. See the prepared souls in the scattered field. Other meetings centered on headquarters tour every week during core with business persons and church officers of the region and remnant ministers to receive the word and raise the partisan of actual 300% preparations. The Evangelism Discipleship Training, which restores the biblical evangelism movement. The December 237 Tuesday Disciple Training will take place on the 26th, Thursday, at the Emmanuel Church. Registration confirmation begins at 8 a.m. Praise begins at 10:10 a.m. Lecture 1 at 10:30 a.m. and Lectures 2 and 3 at 2 p.m. Meanwhile, registrations for the 2025 January 237 Tuesday Disciple Training have begun. It will take place January 21st at the Dakpyeong RUTC, and registrations are open at WEEA. Kicking off the 2025 as the first retreat of the year, the Preschool Kindergarten Ministers Retreat with the theme The Start Towards Eternity will take place on January 3rd at the Deokpyeong RUTC. Reverend Yu will proclaim 3 lectures, Lecture 1 at 11 a.m., Lectures 2 and 3 at 2:30 p.m. Registration offering is 80,000 won, and registrations are open at WEEA until the 31st. The 2025 World Youth Retreat, with the theme Foundations for Eternity, will take place as 2 retreats, 1st and 2nd, at the Deokpyeong RUTC starting January 13th. First from January 13th through the 15th, second from January 15th through the 17th, 3 days each. We recommend you register for the days of your region. Registration offering is 120,000 won. Room and board are provided. Registrations are open until January 6th. The 2025 winter semester of the Pastors' Wives course will take place on January 8th for 2 days at the Deokpyeong RUTC. This year's Pastors' Wives course, which opens with the theme 300% Training, will proclaim in depth the 2025 Evangelism Movement direction from a pastoral ministry perspective. Reverend Yu will give the lectures 1 and 2 at 10:30 a.m. on the 8th, lectures 3 and 4 at 2 p.m., and lectures 5 and 6 at 10:30 a.m. on the 9th, the next day. Registration offering is 350,000 won for new students, 300,000 won for returning students, and 200,000 won for auditors. Lunch will be provided for the 2 days. Rooms will be provided for those who register for them ahead of time. Auditors will have a separate room and board charge. Registrations are open at WEEA until January 2nd. This week's offering. Disciples across the nation and the world continue to send their heartfelt offerings to the 237 Center and RUTC this week. Announcements. December 28th will be Remnant Day at the Kimhae Big Light Church. The Remnant Leaders School is taking the 25th class of incoming students. Applications will be taken until December 18th by mail or email. Required documents and details can be found on the RLS website. We pray that you will raise the absolute partisan which leaves behind the footprints of the 300% answers through only gospel, only prayer, and only evangelism. This concludes the news. Thank you.